you're writing something, you start to feel like you're airing dirty laundry, and it's like, oh God, I don't think I want anyone to see this side of myself. It's probably a sign that it's worth doing. La La Land was all about, on an emotional level, it was all about stuff that I had felt or that I had lived through or that I had experienced. That, I think, is the best way to work, no matter what genre you're working in, to try to find what's personal in it. When I was a kid, I made a lot of, home movies. I'd steal, like, my dad's camcorder and just shoot stuff with friends. And I'd make those movies and then watch Hollywood movies, and I wouldn't be able to quite understand or fathom how those Hollywood movies were put together. I couldn't quite figure out how you'd put the pieces together to make a big movie. It really was just, it seemed to me like it must be so radically different from what I'm doing with my friends here with this beat-up camcorder. And then I think the thing you realize, actually, is that it's not that different. No matter how many crew members or actors or performers or lights or whatever are on set, it's still make-believe. You're still basically working with a group of people, and you're pointing a camera at something and you're filming it and you're telling a story. And I think that's what helps me kind of zen out a little bit, that it actually is that simple. My composer and I got to meet Barbra Streisand at an early screening. It was awesome, just kind of immediately getting questions from someone who obviously knows musicals like the back of her hand, and was just, asking Justin, my composer, what his process was for this song and this piece of orchestration and this, and asking me, in terms of how we staged this or that. She immediately just wanted to talk. And of course, the two of us probably made no sense in terms of what we were saying, because we were just kind of gobsmacked fans. I think there's a reason why most of the greatest love stories in history don't end with happily ever after. If you're telling a story about love, it has to be bigger than the characters, actually. It has to be this third character or this thing that kind of lives on, and it can't just depend on the practicalities of whether the people are in the same place at the same time at the end. Those stories give you that sense that even if the relationship itself might be over, the love is not over, the love lasts, and I think that's just a beautiful kind of thing. Every art form needs to change in order to stay relevant and stay urgent. Ideally, you find some happy medium between honoring the past but pushing it forward. With a movie like this, my hope was to kind of take things that might have seemed dusty or like relics, might have seemed outdated tropes from older movies that might have seemed like they didn't apply to today, but try to reinvest them with a certain kind of modern energy and put them in a modern context and subvert them and add on to them and just try to extend that tradition. So not just kind of replicate, but try to actually try to change them. That's how you keep an art form alive, whether it's jazz or movies or the musical specifically. That's what's important to me, finding that kind of combination of learning from the past but pulling it into the future.